Hey, welcome back to yet another episode of my podcast, the 4 a.m. Talks. And it's a very cool Tuesday here in Bangalore. How are you guys doing? I'm doing really good, and my sister is doing really great. So, I have this is my 15th episode, and I'm super happy that have reached this number. I know it's going to be 1,500, 15,000. So many episodes are going to come up, but 15th episode, I'm really happy. And today is the topic which is called humiliation. I know for sure that audience, that is you consuming my content, would have gone through some or the other way. It could be your personal life, it could be your professional life. You would have got humiliated. I mean, in the sense that you would have got humiliated in front of thousands of people. For few, it could have been 10 people, but for others, it could be hundreds or thousands, or maybe in the stage where you got humiliated. There could be a lot of incidents, and I wanted to talk about humiliation. What is the so thing called humiliation? Today is the topic where I wanted to tell you a story. I really feel when I was writing this episode, this story will fit in for most of you, and you would take this story and you would reflect back. So let's get right into the story, and then we will talk about the process. So let's imagine John Carpenter. He's studying in his 10th grade. He is in his class of 50. So there are 50 people, and one of them is John Carpenter. There is one free period, and the teacher asks everyone to write what is their dream, what they wanted to become. Everybody starts writing, and the teacher sees everyone. Few people are really focused, and they already know what they wanted to become, and they are really serious. They're writing it. They could see. Few people are not sure because they haven't figured out what is that one thing that they wanted to become. What is that one field where they could invest their energy, invest their time to get into it. So they see, the teacher sees all these things, and few were least bothered because they have no clue, absolutely no clue. And it is there. We have seen people who don't have that vision or the dream or what is their purpose, and they leave this planet. It has happened. So it's not new. I mean, everyone has to figure out their way, what is their purpose of life. Few will figure it out very early, and if they do, they are really lucky because they lucky in the sense they made an effort to understand themselves, and that is really important, and that is the most important thing. And I feel more than knowing about anyone, try to know about yourself, and that is the key thing to actually make you go in a path, and you would not think about anything else. Even though if you have not gone to that level, you will at least not regret because you felt you have tried, you have put your heart and soul into it, and if it doesn't go out, it's fine, and you have tried. And the only thing is, if you're not gonna quit, most of the times you will going to achieve whatever you wanted to. So let's come back to the story. The teacher was looking into different students, and she was trying to figure out what is the thing that they are writing. Few just wrote that they wanted to become a surgeon. They wanted to help people later on. They wanted to help poor people with the surgery. So the teacher was really happy looking into all these things. And then what she does is she asks everyone to actually read out what they wanted to become. Everyone starts, they line up and they tell their dream. When John Carpenter's turn came, he just told that he's going to become a billionaire and he's going to change the world. He's going to bring in a lot of changes and the world will change more positively. So, this is what he does. He says, his biggest inspiration is Elon Musk and he wants to become like him or better than him. Everybody starts laughing. There were comments passed by where they say that your father is just a carpenter, and you at least try to tell people that you would become one of the millionaires. You becoming a billionaire, they just laughed, and it was a humiliating effect that got into John Carpenter. It's 1 versus 50 there. And then there was a comment which passed by. They said, you gotta take time. John Carpenter, listen, this is not achievable. This is an impossible goal for you. Just think about it. And there were people who just told him that he should take time, including the teacher, because they didn't know how curious or how serious John Carpenter was. Nobody knows. If you come and say that, you know what, I'm going to become a sports person, I don't know how serious you are when you tell me that you wanted to become a sports person. I don't know. Your action will directly tell me that you are serious. If you're putting the work, it will automatically reflect me. You need not have to tell. That means you have to work super hard, try out different strategies, fail a lot of times, and try to understand the process, and eventually you're gonna grow. And not coming out from a good financial stability, and the family is not that good with in terms of financial side, it's really going to be a difficult part, but it's not impossible. But that's what the 50 people say in that room. And the teacher is also not 100% confident whether John Carpenter is going to make it. But the problem is she didn't understand that she has to stop right there and encourage John Carpenter. She didn't do it. But that is the good thing that happened to John Carpenter. They said, you take 2 days time, 2 to 3 days time, and you come back and you tell your dream again, refine, try to think again and come up with your dream. John Carpenter goes back to his home. He was really disappointed and he was not in the good sense of mind, and his father came up and asked about it. He just asked what happened to John Carpenter. He just asked him what happened, and John Carpenter just told everything that happened in school. And he asked him whether the things that they said was going to happen and whether it's the fate that is going to decide. His father told him that it's not the fate that is going to decide your future. If you are willing to work hard, anything is possible. If you are understanding the process, everything is possible. If you truly believe in your strategy, and if you think that a failure is just a process where there is an obstacle, you find out ways to tackle that problem and go ahead, you will eventually get to that stage. It's possible, John. These people are telling you the lie. They're telling a lie to you. Just believe that you can do it. You can become whatever you wanted to, but you have to work hard. You have to work really well to get to that point. 2 days later, John Carpenter goes to his school. They asked about his dream. He doesn't say anything. Everyone was surprised. Why is John Carpenter not telling anything about his dream? What happened to him? There was silence. John Carpenter just got up from his seat, took a piece of chalk, went up to the blackboard, and he just writes his email ID. And he says to his classmates and teacher that he's going to be super big. He's going to become a billionaire. And if somebody wants some help later on, they could contact him through that mail ID and he'll be happy to help them. Everybody was stunned. Look at John Carpenter's attitude there. People are going to tell you and they're going to humiliate you with your personal background. For John Carpenter, they really did it with his financial background, but personally they could attack you. They could you know they could think of anything which is not even possible, and they will try to make sure that you believe in that thing which is not going to exist or it doesn't make sense to you, because they don't know how you work. They don't know your mindset. They don't know. Maybe they could be right if John Carpenter doesn't work. It is possible. So you got to understand that, if you are that hungry to succeed and, achieve your dream, you need to work really hard. And you're going to try different strategies. Remember, Ray Dalio is you know, you all know who Ray Dalio is. He is an entrepreneur. He's a billionaire. What he tells is there are number of ways where you can find the solution of a problem. It's just like mathematics. There isn't one way of finding out the solution. There are number of ways. So for me it could work, but for you it won't work. It may not work. You got to understand this. So if you understand this very early and if you start working, definitely you will succeed. But remember, this humiliation will not stop for John Carpenter. It happened in school, it may happen in college, it might happen, in his degree, it might happen when he starts working. If he starts a startup, the people are gonna say the same. People may not believe him. It happened to all successful people. Everybody, some way or the other, have been humiliated. There are doubts, but if they take that to heart, they're gonna quit. If they say to themselves that these guys are just telling the biggest lie, or if they take it as a joke, what a joke, man. You don't know about me. You see what will happen in 15 years. If you are having this kind of a mindset, what happens to you? I was watching an interview of one of my favorite cricketers, Virat Kohli and Dinesh Karthik. This happened, I think this happened in England, where both had a conversation. It was more of a conversation, but it was a beautiful interview. People who haven't watched it, please go out and watch. There's a lot of mental toughness that Virat Kohli talks about. There, he says when he comes out to bat at the start, there were 30,000 people booing him. They were turning him down. But if Virat Kohli to himself at that moment says, yes, these guys are right, I can't go out and bat to that, pressure situation, I can't go out and survive, he's going to become, just an ordinary cricketer, not the way that he has achieved. He is telling to himself that this is not going to bother me, or it's not going to cripple me, or it's not going to affect me. he's going to go there and he's going to score runs. He's going to make his team win. This is what Virat Kohli has always told himself. And that is why whenever he faced any sort of competitions, any sort of, discouragements or anything, it didn't bother him. It didn't bother him because he knows the ultimate vision, the ultimate, he knows his purpose, why he is there. He is there to win matches. So if he gets distracted, if he gets humiliated in front of, what happened to him in Australia, at the start, it was a humiliating one. Everyone, whoever it could be, your role model has got humiliated in one or the other way. This is my point to you. So, if your role model is getting humiliated, of course, you will have your chance as well. We know this is a public event and we got to know Virat Kohli, but for you, it could be a different thing. You could be in an entirely different industry. It is different. So, just remember that these things doesn't matter. Humiliation is going to come in all the possible ways all the time. Until you make it, these things will always be there. Your family can humiliate you. I'm serious. You got to be ready for all those things if your vision is that big. So, with that being said, try to ask yourself, have you got any type of humiliating events that had happened to you? What did you do? What are the actions that you have taken to, surpass or to get rid of that humiliating thing that happened in your life? This is the most important thing because this will drive you. This will ignite fire in you. You might go out there and you could, achieve a lot of things and it will create a positive impact. Sometimes these things will ignite the fuel in them, people, and they're gonna, become the best. And, this is really important for me to address this to you and have given this to you, and it's up to you to reflect this. Go back and just analyze whatever I've told you and try to figure out ways of, trying to get rid of that humiliating thing that happened in your life and move forward. These things doesn't matter to you. You have to move on. That is the most important thing. All right, with that being said, it's a wonderful day. It's a Tuesday, and I'm super happy that I've brought this episode to you. And I would love to hear your comments, your thoughts in the comment section if you're listening it in YouTube, watching it in YouTube, or if you're watching it in if you're listening it to the audio platform, you can tweet us, you can DM the Instagram, and we have our mail as well, so everything will be there and you can wish. If you do that, it will actually have a good valuable thing for us to improve on. What is that one thing that I wanted to improve, or what is that one thing which you wanted to see? If there is any topics that you wanted to listen to, I'm really happy to come up with those topics. So whatever it is, just let me know. And my sister's poems are coming out every Sunday. You can listen to that as well, and you can comment on that as well. We would reach you if you are having any sort of conversation that you wanted to have. And it would be really great if you mail us, because that will have a proper thing. And if you really wanted to give a comment, you can go ahead and give it on YouTube. So with that being said, have a wonderful day, everyone. Take care. Bye.